GT Countdown. Top 10 Worst Consoles.
Unless your grandparents hated you during the holidays and birthdays, hopefully you have limited memories of the following consoles. These are the machines that have swindled wallets and bled the industry. Bad design, bad games, and bad business are the elements of their philosophy. You will never find such a list of scum and villainy outside of a European war crimes court. Be warned, these are the worst, most offensive digital contraptions that dare to be labeled as entertainment. Buckle up, we're going in.
Number 10. Phantom.
What better name for a console that was never released than, well, the Phantom? In 2002, Infinium Labs made the ill-fated announcement of a revolutionary game system that would operate without the use of cartridges, CDs, or DVDs. Instead, all games would be downloaded through an online subscription service on a pay-to-play basis. Though promised to hit retail stores during the 2004 holiday season, a lack of funds and acquired game licenses pushed the Phantom's release date further and further down the line until it inevitably reached 2000 never. The Phantom is no more, but promises of a PC client offering the same service drift in the internet's endless ether.
Number 9. N-Gage.
Other than the strategy title Pathway to Glory and the pseudo-MMO Pocket Kingdom, where all the characters talked in leet speak, this side-talking game system slash phone offered nothing but problems. The screen was taller than it was wide, you had to take out the battery to change games, and using it to take calls made it look like a taco was glued to your head. The N-Gage QD made it easier to change games and put an end to side-talking, but the N-Gage brand is most remembered as a mildly humorous internet joke.
Number 8. Virtual Boy.
Innovation is in the eye of the beholder, until it makes you go blind. The brainchild of Game Boy creator Gunpei Yokoi, the Virtual Boy's real 3D sounded good on paper, but in reality, not so much. Available technology limited colors to black and red. Games actually demanded players take frequent breaks to offset headaches, stiff necks, dizziness, and eye strain, all unfortunate results of playing the Virtual Boy. Only 14 games were ever released in the US, with most looking like Game Boy games with gimmicky 3D effects. Sure, Wario Land was decent, but most gamers decided that they would rather be dead than go red, forcing Nintendo to abandon the console just months after launch.
Number 7. 3DO.
It's a new experience.
Debuting with a $700 price tag that even Kaz Hirai's PS3 couldn't match.
$599 US dollars, $599 US dollars, $599 US dollars.
Giant enemy crab.
The 3DO, conceived by EA founder Trip Hawkins,
It plugs into the future.
was insanely pricey and squandered its impressive processing power on playing horrible full-motion video. Importers and software pirates could enjoy the console's complete lack of regional lockouts or copy protection, but the system boasted few games worth stealing that weren't already available on other platforms. After being completely crushed by the PlayStation, Return Fire, considered to be the console's best original game, was ported over and promptly forgotten.
Oh, no one was around. I just sat down and blew my little head off until...
Take your damn clothes off!
Number 6. Sega Genesis add-ons.
Console add-ons rarely work, and nowhere was this more evident than with the Sega Genesis / Sega CD / CDX / 32X. Hoping to squeeze some more life out of its aging Genesis console, Sega decided that interactive movies was the way to go and created the Sega CD add-on. Despite teenage star Dana Plato's appearance in the god-awful Night Trap, interactive movie games stunk and consumers were not fooled. When the platform began to fall on its face despite the excellent Sonic CD, Sega released the CDX, a machine that included all the functionality of the Genesis and Sega CD in one unit. In the ultimate boneheaded move, the CDX sold for $400, $100 more than buying the two machines separately. For obvious reasons, the CDX bombed, only for it to be followed up by yet another stinker in the form of the 32X. Another CD-based machine that plugged into the Genesis's cartridge slot, it featured 32-bit processing, but hardly any games. With the Saturn just a year away, gamers turned up their noses, and the Sega Genesis add-ons turned up on our list of the 10 worst consoles of all time.
Number 5. Jaguar.
Numbers define the capabilities of a system, and while other companies would brand the number of bits on their hardware, Atari felt like its Jaguar console from 1993 was self-explanatory. A bold advertising campaign commanded gamers to do the math and see how the Jaguar's professed 64-bit architecture was superior to its Genesis and Super Nintendo adversaries. But what Atari failed to see itself was a number of fundamental flaws with the system, including faulty processors, poor third-party support, and a ridiculous controller setup. The JAG's only claims to fame were some of the worst exclusives of all time, such as the post-Cheers Woody Harrelson vehicle, White Men Can't Jump. While Atari may be out of the console race, its awesomely bad commercials will forever remain etched in our memories.
Can you repeat the question?
Jaguar! Jaguar! Jaguar!
Number 4. Philips CDI.
It promised a future of smooth, rich media baked onto a compact disc. The I was for interactive, but when the yoga videos and Sesame Street sing-alongs failed to move units, Philips tried its shaky hand in the game market, with movie-heavy games and French cowboys. The second controller port was on the back of the console, packed away as an afterthought. But the most grievous insult to interactive injury was how it handled its Nintendo license, shoveling out some infamous Zelda and Mario tragedies.
Oh boy! I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok!
Number 3. Atari 5200.
Facing increasing competition from Intellivision and ColecoVision, in 1982 Atari released the Atari 5200. The biggest mistake was making the system incompatible with 2600 games, which in this day and age seems like a no-brainer. It also suffered from a glut of re-release titles, a software library that failed to hit triple digits, and the most hated controller of all time. Sure, it had some innovations like a pause button and a 360-degree joystick, but it didn't recenter properly and was so fragile that it often broke after just a few hours of play, or from throwing it at the TV in disgust.
Number 2. R-Zone.
Fear Tiger Electronics symmetry. The company's Game.com tried to one-up the Game Boy with a matching monochromatic screen, a touch interface, and a modem. It sucked. But nothing could prepare anyone for Tiger's entry into the realm of the unreal, virtual reality. Enter the R-Zone, a cartridge-based LCD game system that made the Virtual Boy look like a PlayStation 7. Most shameful was the optional headgear wrapped in a shamelessly slick marketing ploy. It managed to bait Sega into the fold with the promise of VR, but the promises were empty, just like Tiger's bank account after this debacle.
Number 1. Gizmondo.
It's a complete mystery to us why this handheld didn't sell like hotcakes. How could a portable system fail with the attractive price point of $400? A depressing battery life, a screen the size of a cell phone, and must-have games like Sticky Balls and Mama Can I Mow the Lawn?
You got blue balls, green balls, yellow and all. I'm gonna get them sticky balls.
Maybe it was because the budget version forced you to watch 3 commercials a day. Or it might have been the fact that its executive, Stefan Eriksson, was linked to the Swedish Mafia and drove a Ferrari like he was playing Twisted Metal. Or maybe it's because it has one of the dumbest names ever. Despite the fact that it could take pictures, store music and video, send and receive emails, and came packaged with a fully functional GPS, no console crash has been more sadly amusing than the Gizmondo, making it more than qualified to be the worst console of all time.